Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, chapter 16 through the trapdoor, page 276 to 278. I think we'll be able to pull the door open, said Ron, peering over the dog's back. Want to go first, Hermione? No, I don't. All right. Ron gritted his teeth and stepped carefully over the dog's legs. He bent and pulled the ring of the trapdoor, which he swung up and open. What can you see? What can you see? Hermione said anxiously. Nothing, just black. There's no way of climbing down. We'll just have to drop. Harry was still playing the flute, waved at Ron to get his attention and pointed at himself. You want to go first? Are you sure? Said Ron. I don't know how deep this thing goes. Give the flute to Hermione so she can keep him asleep. Harry handed the flute over. In a few seconds of silence, the dog growled and twitched. But the moment Hermione began to play, it fell back into its deep sleep. Harry climbed over it and looked down through the trapdoor. There was no sign of the bottom. He lowered himself through the hole until he was hanging on by his fingertips. Then he looked up at Ron and said, if anything happens to me, don't follow. Go straight to the owlery and send Edric to Dumbledore, right? Right, said Ron. See you in a minute, I hope. And Harry let go. Cold, damp air rushed past him as he fell down, and flump, with a funny, muffled sort of thump, he landed on something soft. He sat up and felt around. His eyes not used to the gloom. He felt as though he was sitting on some sort of a plant. It's okay, he called up to the light. The size of a postage stamp, which was the open trapdoor. It's a soft landing. You can jump. Ron followed right away. He landed, sprawled next to Harry. What is this stuff? Were his first words. Don't know. Some sort of planting. I suppose it's here to break the fall. Come on, Hermione. The distant music stopped. There was a loud bark from the dog. But Hermione had already jumped. She landed on Harry's other side. You must be miles under the school, she said. Lucky this plant thing is here, really, said Ron. Lucky? Shrieked Hermione. Look at you both. She leapt up and struggled toward the damp wall. She had to struggle because the moment she had landed, the plant had started to twist snake-like tendrils around her ankles. As for Harry and Ron, the legs had already been bound tightly in long creepers without their noticing. Hermione had managed to free herself before the plant got a firm grip on her. She watched in horror as the two boys fought to pull the plant off them, but the more they strained against it, the tighter and faster the plant wound around them. Stop moving, Hermione ordered them. I know what this is. It's Devil's Snare. I'm so glad we know what's called. That's a great help, snarled Ron, leaning back, trying to stop the plant from curling around his neck. Shut up. I'm trying to remember how to kill it, said Hermione. Well, hurry up. I can't breathe. Harry gasped, wrestling with it as it curled around his chest. Devil's snare. What did Professor Sprout say? It likes the dark and damp. So light a fire. Harry choked. Yes, of course, but there's no wood, Hermione cried, wringing her hands. Have you gone mad? Ron bellowed. Are you a witch or not? All right, said Hermione, and she whipped it out, her wand, waved it, muttered something, then set the jet of the same blue-bell flame she had used on Snape at the plant. In a matter of seconds, the two boys felt it loosening its grip as it cringed away from the light and warmth. Wriggling and the flailing, it unraveled itself from their bodies, and they were able to pull free. Lucky you pay attention in herbology, Hermione, said Harry as he joined her by the wall. wiping sweat off his face. Yeah, said Ron. Hey, lucky. Harry doesn't lose his head in a crisis. There's no wood, honestly. This way, said Harry, pointing down a stone passageway, which was the only way forward. All they could hear, apart from their footsteps, was the gentle drip of water trickling down the walls. The passageway sloped downward. Harry was reminded of the Gringotts with an unpleasant jolt of the heart. He remembered the dragons said to be guarding boats in the Wizard's Bank. If they met a dragon, a fully grown dragon, Norbert had been bad enough. The end.